My sister smiled and said, "You're good with the kids, they'll love to be with you," right after I just booked a vacation for the whole family. So while they were skiing, I went on my solo trip and left them in total chaos. I have always been the responsible one in my family. You know the type, the one everyone calls when they need something. Yeah, that's me. While my sister, let's call her Amy, and sister-in-law Sarah, did the whole marriage kids suburbs thing straight out of college. I went a different route. I focused on my career, worked my butt off at this corporate place downtown. And to be honest, I'm pretty proud of where I've gotten myself. I started as an entry-level analyst, and now I've got this sweet corner office on the 23rd floor. Those 60-hour work weeks and missed weekends actually paid off. My desk has this amazing view of the city, and sometimes when I'm working late, I just take a moment to look at all the lights and think, yeah, I did that. But my family, oh my God, they just do not get it. Every single family gathering turns into this weird intervention about my life choices. It's always, when are you going to settle down, or, you're not getting any younger, or my personal favorite from Sarah, I know this nice guy from church. He'd be perfect for you. And it's not just the marriage thing. They seriously act like my job is just this cute little hobby I do between babysitting their kids. Like, hello, I'm a senior project manager handling multi-million-dollar accounts. But try explaining that to Amy when she calls me at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, expecting me to drop everything because her son's daycare closed early. The thing is, I actually love my nieces and nephews. I've always been there for them. Birthday parties, I'm the cool aunt bringing the best presents. School plays, front row taking videos, sick days when their parents have important meetings. Guess who uses her precious paid time off to play nurse? But lately, I don't know, something's been feeling off. Like last month, Sarah needed me to watch her kid because she had this super important doctor's appointment. I found out later from her Instagram stories that she was actually at a spa day with her friends and she didn't even try to hide it. She just posted those stories like I wouldn't see them. When I brought it up, she was like, you wouldn't understand. Being a mom is so stressful. I really needed that break. And Amy, she's even worse with the whole, you're single so your time doesn't matter thing. Last week, she literally told me, it's not like you have anything better to do on weekends anyway. When I tried to say no to watching her kid, I was literally in the middle of preparing for this huge murder at work. But apparently, that's not as important as her wanting to go shopping with her friends. The funny thing is, well, not really funny, more like sad. I used to be okay with all this, like completely fine being everyone's backup plan and free babysitter. I told myself it was enough that they needed me, that being reliable was its own reward, or whatever. Looking back now, I can't believe I bought into that whole thing. My coworker Lisa, she's like a work mom to me, to be honest, keeps telling me I need to set boundaries. She sees how many emergency family calls I get during work hours. The other day, she straight up asked me, when was the last time someone in your family asked how you were doing? And I couldn't remember. But yeah, that's me. The reliable one, the responsible one, the one who always says yes. At least that's who I was, because something happened recently that changed everything. And typing all this out is making me realize just how messed up things were. So there I was, literally drowning in spreadsheets for this huge merger thing at work. My desk looked like a paper factory exploded on it. I had 6 different reports to finish and this massive presentation for the client next week that I hadn't even started yet. My phone starts buzzing. It's Amy now. Usually when I'm this busy, I let calls go to voicemail. But my sister has this thing where if you don't answer her first call, she'll keep calling and texting and calling again. So I picked up trying to type with one hand. Hey, you got a minute? She had that fake, sweet voice she uses when she wants something. Sure, I said, still typing. What's up? So you know Mom's 66th is coming up. I actually didn't know because nobody tells me anything until they need something from me. But I just mumbled, while trying to fix this formula that was messing up my entire spreadsheet. Well, we're planning something really special. Amy was practically squealing at this point, but we need everyone to chip in. She didn't tell me what this special thing was, but I was barely paying attention because this stupid Excel formula was still giving me grief. How much I asked finally getting the formula to work. When she told me the amount, I literally choked on my coffee. Like full-on sputtering coffee all over my keyboard. Kind of choking. We're talking about more money than I spent on my entire last vacation. That's a lot. Oh, come on, it's for Mom. And you're the only one of us with a real career. The rest of us have families to support. There it was. The guilt trip. The you're single, so you must be rolling in money assumption. Like my rent in the city isn't triple what they pay for their suburban mortgages. Fine, I said, already pulling up my banking app. I'll transfer it now. You're the best, Amy chirped. Oh, and clear your schedule for that week. Don't plan anything else. I was in the middle of saying, wait, what week exactly? when she hung up. Classic Amy move. Over the next few weeks, she kept calling with these weird updates that weren't actually updates. I'm just checking you got those days off. Yep. Still need to talk to my boss about it. What dates exactly? Oh, you know that week. Gotta go. Or I'm just wanted to make sure you're not planning anything else for you still haven't told me the dates. Don't worry about it. It's all handled. Oh, Sarah wants to know if you can watch my nephew tomorrow. It got to the point where even my coworkers noticed something was up. I was getting 5 to 6 calls a day from either Amy or Sarah, all being super vague about these plans. My work friend Tom was like, "Your phone rings more than our customer service line." During a meeting where Amy called 3 times, I tried asking Mom about it, but she immediately got weird. "Hey Mom, what's this thing Amy's planning?" I asked. She froze for a second, then started fumbling with the dish towel in her hands. "Oh, well, I promise not to say anything, but I'm literally helping pay for it." Mom gave me this nervous little laugh. "You'll find out soon enough, sweetie. Just trust me, it's a good thing." Then in a complete subject change, she added, "Oh, did Sarah tell you about that nice young man from her church? Even my cousin Kate was acting weird. You're coming to the thing, right?" She asked casually when we bumped into each other. "What thing? When is it? Where is it?" I shot back. Kate gave me a playful shove. "Oh, come on, just say yes. Trust me, you'll love it." "How can I say yes when I don't even know what I'm saying yes to?" I said, crossing my arms. She rolled her eyes like I was being ridiculous. Stop pretending you totally know." "No, Kate, I totally don't." Her face dropped for a split second before she forced a smile. "Well, you will soon enough." Then she practically ran off before I could ask anything else. I knew something was up. Like, nobody should be that weird about birthday plans, right? But I was so busy with work that I didn't have time to really think about it. Plus, there was this whole thing with my nephew getting sent home from school for turning his classroom into an art gallery. Translation, he drew on everything. And guess who had to leave work early to pick him up because Amy was too busy with her multi-level marketing stuff. Looking back now, I can't believe I didn't see what they were setting me up for. But I guess when you're used to being the family doormat, you don't notice when they're about to wipe their feet on you extra hard. But the whole thing finally blew up at this family dinner we do every month. Picture this. I'm already stressed out because I had to leave work early again to make it on time. I've got this massive merger presentation tomorrow that I'm nowhere near ready for, but Mom guilt-tripped me into coming because family dinner is tradition. The usual suspects were all there. Mom trying to force leftovers on everyone. Dad pretending to watch sports on his phone but actually playing Candy Crush. Sarah doing her whole perfect Christian wife act. And all the kids running around like tiny tornadoes. I'm sitting there trying to secretly check work emails under the table. When my cousin Kate goes, "Did you bring your planner? We need to check some dates." Before I could answer, Amy does this super obvious fake cough thing. The whole room goes quiet so fast you could hear one of the kids trying to sneak extra cookies in the kitchen. Actually, Amy says standing up like she's about to give a speech at the Oscars. We have an announcement about Mom's birthday. Everyone's looking at each other with these weird smiles. You know those smiles people have when they know something you don't? Yeah, those ones. "We've booked a week at Pine Valley Lodge," Amy says, all proud of herself. "All expenses paid. Full resort experience." Everyone starts cheering and congratulating Mom. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there doing quick math in my head about how much of my money they spent on this without even telling me. Then Sarah pipes up with her sugary sweet voice that she uses when she's about to say something mean. "You're so amazing with the kids. They're going to love having you watch them for that week. I literally stopped mid-bite. I'm sorry." "What? Oh, don't worry." Amy jumps in. "We've got it all planned out. You can use the little cabin behind the main lodge. It's got a mini fridge and everything." "The kids are so excited to have a whole week with Auntie Em," Sarah adds. I put down my fork. "Guys, I can't take a week off. We have this huge merger happening." "Oh, that work thing." Amy waves her hand like she's swatting away an annoying fly. "Just reschedule it." "Reschedule? Are you serious right now?" "Well," Sarah says with that look she gets when she's about to say something particularly awful. "It's not like you have actual responsibilities like we do. Your job is just, a job." I stared at her. This woman who I've helped literally hundreds of times, who calls me at least twice a week to watch her kids, who once made me cancel a client meeting because her kid had an emergency. He wanted McDonald's and she was too tired to take him. "My job pays my bills," I said slowly. "And apparently, your vacation too. Don't be like that." Mom jumps in. "We're family and you're so good with the kids." "Yeah," Amy adds. "They won't behave for anyone else like they do for you." Fun fact, they don't behave for me either. Last time I watched them, one of them used my work laptop as a canvas for his finger painting phase, and the other tried to feed my phone to the toilet. But sure, they're angels with me. If you want me to watch 5 kids under 7 24/7 for an entire week, I said, you need to pay me. They all looked at me like I just suggested we should sell the children to the circus. Pay you? Sarah actually clutched her pearls, like physically grabbed the necklace she wears to show everyone how proper she is. We're family. Yeah, I said. Family who took my money for a vacation I'm apparently not even going to get to enjoy. But you wouldn't enjoy it anyway, Amy says. All matter of fact, it's not like you have a husband or kids to spend time with. You'd just be working on your laptop the whole time anyway. That's when Aunt Lisa, who had been quietly watching this whole disaster unfold, finally spoke up. Do you guys even hear yourselves right now? Em has a career, a successful one. You can't just expect her to drop everything because you don't want to pay for childcare. But she loves watching the kids, Sarah protested. I love my nieces and nephews, I corrected her. That doesn't mean I want to be their unpaid nanny while you all go skiing. Well, I think you're being very selfish, Mom said in that quiet voice she uses when she's really mad. After everything we've done for you, everything you've done for me. I couldn't help laughing. Like what exactly? Taking my money. Volunteering me for things without asking. Making me feel bad about my life choices. The room got real quiet. I think they didn't expect me to say no at all. It was actually my first time rejecting what they asked, but I just sat there for a minute staring at them like they'd all lost their minds. The absolute audacity of these people, expecting me to give up a week of my life to watch their kids while they went on vacation with my money. I could feel my face getting hot. You know that feeling when you're so mad you might actually explode? Okay, I said, trying to sound reasonable. I pulled out my work laptop. Let's talk actual numbers here. You want me to watch 5 kids under 7 24/7 for an entire week? The going rate for a nanny in this area is $25 per hour for 1 kid plus $5 for each additional kid. That's $45 per hour for 24 hours, 7 days. I did the math quickly. That's about $7,560 along with the money I already paid for the trip. You would have thought I suggested selling their children on eBay. Sarah actually gasped. Amy started laughing like I told the funniest joke ever. Mom just kept shaking her head with that disappointed look she's perfected over the years. We're not paying you to spend time with your own nieces and nephews, Amy said, still laughing. That's ridiculous. So you admit it's a job. I said a job you don't want to pay for. It's not a job when it's family, Sarah insisted. We watched each other's kids all the time growing up. Yeah, for a few hours after school, I said. Not for a whole week while everyone else goes on vacation. I don't understand why you're being so difficult about this. Mom sighed. You're not even doing anything that week anyway except leading a massive merger project. Oh, please, Sarah scoffed. It's not like you're saving lives or anything. That's when Aunt Lisa, who had been quietly sipping her tea and watching this train wreck unfold, finally spoke up again. Sarah, honey, do you know what a corporate merger is? The kind of responsibility Em has? Sarah waved her hand dismissively. She sits in an office all day. How hard can it be? I manage a team of 15 people, I said through gritted teeth. We handle multi-million-dollar accounts. I worked 60-hour weeks for 10 years to get where I am. See, Amy said triumphantly. You're used to working long hours anyway, so watching the kids will be easy for you. I looked around the table at these people who were supposed to be my family. Mom was still shaking her head. Dad was still hiding behind his phone. Sarah was smirking like she'd won something, and Amy was barely paying attention while trying to stop her kid from drawing on the tablecloth. You know what I said, starting to pack up my stuff? You're right. I am used to working hard. I'm used to being responsible. I'm used to putting everyone else first. But I'm done being your free babysitter. Now you're just being dramatic, Sarah said. This is why you're still single. You know men don't like women who are so career-obsessed. That was it, the last straw. Not just the insult, but the way she said it, so smug and superior, like she'd figured out what was wrong with me and was doing me a favor by pointing it out. I stood up so fast my chair almost fell over. I'm single because I choose to be. I'm successful because I work hard. And I'm leaving because I finally realized that none of you actually care about me as a person. You only care about what I can do for you. Em started, but I didn't listen. I walked out of there with my head held high, ignoring their calls behind me. As I got in my car, I could see Aunt Lisa giving me a thumbs up through the window. At least someone in this family gets it. I drove home that night in a complete daze. You know when you arrive somewhere and don't even remember the drive there, that kind of days. I ended up sitting in my car in the parking garage of my apartment building for what felt like hours, just staring at nothing and replaying everything in my head. My phone kept lighting up with messages. Amy sending me photos of my nephew looking sad. Definitely staged. That kid can't keep a straight face for more than 2 seconds. Sarah writing paragraphs about how disappointed she was in my unchristian behavior at dinner. Mom just sending sad face emojis because she knows that drives me crazy. I turned my phone face down on the passenger seat and ignored all of it. Instead, I started thinking about all the times I dropped everything for them. The time I left in the middle of a client meeting because Sarah had a medical emergency with her son. Or when I worked through the night to make up for taking a day off to watch the kids while Amy went to a business conference, or the countless times I'd spent my weekends entertaining the kids because you're not doing anything anyway. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Aunt Lisa. "You okay, kiddo? That was rough in there, but I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. Call me if you need to talk." That's when I started crying. Full-on ugly crying with mascara everywhere and those weird hiccup sob things. I cried for all the times I'd said yes when I wanted to say no, for all the times I'd put my own life on hold to help with theirs, for all the times they'd made me feel like being single and focused on my career made me somehow less valuable as a person. Finally, I dragged myself up to my apartment. It's this nice one-bedroom place with floor-to-ceiling windows that I worked really hard to afford. Sarah always makes these little comments about how it's cute that I live in an apartment at my age. Like there's something wrong with not having a house in the suburbs. But I love it here. It's mine. I earned it. I walked in and just stood there looking at my life, my space, the desk where I've pulled countless late nights, building my career, the bookshelf full of novels I actually have time to read, because I'm not constantly running after kids. And suddenly this crazy idea hit me. Well, crazy for me. Probably normal for anyone who actually has healthy boundaries with their family. I opened my laptop and started Googling first flight prices, then hotels, then actual vacation packages. My hands were shaking as I typed. You see, I had this chunk of savings set aside. I always called it my emergency fund. But let's be real. It was my family emergency fund, the money I kept available for when they inevitably needed something. I sat there looking at my bank balance, then at the vacation packages, then at my phone that was still lighting up with guilt trip messages. A week in Spain, beautiful hotels, historic sites, art museums, food tours, everything I'd always wanted to do but never did because someone always needed something more important. The cursor hovered over the Book Now button. My phone buzzed again. Another message from Sarah. "The kids are crying because their favorite aunt is being selfish. I hope you're happy with yourself." I think they thought I was joking. I clicked the button, entered my card details, clicked, confirm, booked the whole thing. Flights, hotels, tours, a proper vacation. Not a work by the pool trip, but a real actual phone turned off vacation in Spain during the exact week they wanted me to babysit. My hands were still shaking when I finished, but now it was from excitement rather than anxiety. I hadn't felt this light, this free in years, maybe ever. Then I did something even crazier. I opened up my work email and wrote to my boss about taking 2 weeks off instead of 1. "I've realized I haven't taken a proper vacation in 3 years," I wrote. "I need this time to recharge before the merger." She replied almost immediately. "Finally, I've been trying to get you to take a real break for ages. Approved. Don't you dare check your emails while you're gone." My phone was still buzzing. I turned it off completely and went to stand by my window looking out at the city lights. For the first time in forever, I felt like I could breathe properly, like I was finally choosing myself instead of constantly choosing everyone else. I never mentioned Spain to anyone. And for days. They went completely silent, probably too busy packing, but as the departure date got closer, they suddenly started checking in on me again. I saw every message and left them all on read. A day before their trip, they were getting intense. I sat there for like an hour, just staring at my phone, watching all their messages roll in. They were getting nastier by the minute. All that typical guilt trip stuff about how I was tearing the family apart, and how could I be so selfish and blah blah blah. I decided to end this whole thing once and for all. I opened up my email, the fancy one I use for work, just to show them I meant business, and sent this to our entire family group. "I'm aware that you've all planned a vacation without me, and planned on using me to babysit. That will not be happening. I'm not included, and I'm not yours to use. This is not up for discussion. Bon voyage, you guys." The chaos that followed. My phone literally wouldn't stop buzzing. I had to put it on airplane mode because it was about to explode. First came the shock messages. Amy sent like 15 texts in a row. All just, and what do you mean? Like somehow my email wasn't clear enough. Sarah went straight for the emotional manipulation. The kids are crying. They were so excited to spend time with their aunt. How could you disappoint them like this? Sure, Sarah. Your 3-year-old who can't even read totally saw my email and started crying. Then came Mom's signature move. The single sad face emoji followed by, "You ruined everything. I raised you better than this." Did you though, Mom? Did you? Dad actually called me. He never calls. Left this awkward voicemail like, "Hey, sweetie, your mother is very upset. Maybe we can, talk about this." Classic dad trying to fix things but having no idea how. But my personal favorite was from Sarah's husband, who literally never gets involved in family drama. "Hey, Em, Sarah's really upset. She already told her boss she's taking that week off. Can't you just help us out? We really need this vacation." "Yeah, buddy. And I really need to not be your free childcare service." The best part while all this was happening, I was getting email confirmations for my Spain bookings. Every time a New Year reservation is confirmed, email popped up. I felt a little lighter. I booked this amazing food tour in Barcelona, a walking tour of Madrid, even signed up for a beginner Spanish class. Figured I should at least learn how to order coffee without embarrassing myself. Then came the angry phase. Sarah started posting these super obvious passive-aggressive Facebook statuses about people who don't understand family values and selfish attitudes in today's society. Amy went on this long Instagram rant about toxic people who abandon children. Apparently not watching someone's kids for free while they go on vacation now counts as abandonment. Who knew? My cousin Kate, who usually stays out of drama, actually messaged me. "Hey, saw your email. That was kind of harsh, don't you think?" I replied with a screenshot of all the times she's asked me to babysit in the last month. She left me on red. Aunt Lisa, absolute queen that she is, just sent me. "Good for you. Want me to teach you some Spanish swear words before your trip?" The family group chat was literally on fire. I've muted it, but occasionally peek in just to watch the drama unfold. Meanwhile, I was sitting here on my couch drinking my fancy coffee that I can afford because I have a real job booking spa treatments for my Spain trip and feeling weirdly peaceful about the whole thing. At that moment, the only thing that was bothering me was that I felt they were probably going to try showing up at my apartment for this intervention Amy was planning. I thought of crashing at a friend's place for a few days or putting a sign on my door that says, "Gone to Spain. Don't wait up." But it was too late. They actually showed up at my apartment the next day. All of them Mom, Dad, Amy, Sarah, plus a few other relatives who apparently had nothing better to do on a Thursday evening than participate in this circus. Thank God the kids weren't with them. Probably the only smart decision they made that day. I was in the middle of packing for Spain, bought this cute new suitcase and everything when I heard them in the hallway. Sarah's voice carries like a foghorn when she's mad, so I knew it was them before they even knocked. I didn't answer at first, but they wouldn't leave. Just kept knocking and calling my name. My neighbors were definitely getting a show. Finally, I opened the door because I figured it was better than having them stand out there yelling all night. They all pushed their way in like they owned the place. Mom immediately started crying, of course. Dad looked uncomfortable as usual. And Sarah, oh boy. Sarah had this look on her face like she was about to start preaching. "We've been talking," Sarah said in her, "I'm about to say something terrible, but pretend it's coming from a place of love voice and we're really worried about your mental state." I actually laughed. My mental state is fine. Better than ever, actually. "You abandoned your family," Amy chimed in. "You're refusing to help with the children. That's not normal behavior. Not being your free babysitter is an abandonment." I said, "The kids have parents. Multiple parents, all of whom are choosing to go on vacation instead of watching their own children." That's when Sarah dropped the bomb. "If you keep acting like this, refusing to help with the kids, we might have to call CPS." I literally froze. "What?" Well, Sarah said with this fake concerned look, "If you're having some kind of breakdown and it's affecting the children, are you seriously threatening to call CPS because I won't babysit for free while you go on vacation?" "We're worried about your relationship with the kids," Amy added. "Your sudden refusal to see them." "I haven't refused to see them," I said. "I've refused to be your unpaid nanny." Mom was full on sobbing now. "We just want to help you. Help me." I couldn't believe what I was hearing by threatening to call CPS for what exactly? Not providing free childcare. "You've been acting erratic," Sarah insisted, booking sudden trips, sending aggressive emails. "An adult booking a vacation and setting boundaries is not erratic behavior," I said. "And you know what? Go ahead, call CPS. Explain to them how you're reporting your sister because she won't watch your kids for free while you go skiing. See how that goes. Sarah pulled out her phone like she was actually going to do it. That's when Dad finally spoke up. That's enough, he said, actually raising his voice for once. Sarah put the phone away. You're being ridiculous. No, he cut her off. You're threatening your sister with CPS because she won't provide free childcare. Do you realize how insane that sounds? The room went quiet like you could hear my upstairs neighbor's cat walking around quiet. I want you all to leave, I said. Now, and if any of you ever threaten me with CPS again, I'll go straight to a lawyer. You'd sue your own family. Sarah gasped. Try me. They left eventually, but not before Mom tried one last guilt trip. I just don't understand what we did wrong raising you. And Sarah muttered something about me being unstable. As soon as they were gone, I called Aunt Lisa and told her everything. She was livid, like I could hear her pacing through the phone. She's apparently called Mom and read her the riot act about letting Sarah make threats like that. I also texted my work friend, who's a lawyer, just in case. She's already offered to write them a cease and desist letter if they try anything stupid. The best part, I'm actually glad they pulled this stunt. Any guilt I had about going to Spain, gone. They showed their true colors and they're ugly as hell. I'm flying to Spain tomorrow. Wish me luck. Final update to my post from 1 month ago that blew up. Link to original post not allowed in this sub, but basically my family tried to force me to babysit 5 kids during their vacation that I helped pay for. I booked a trip to Spain instead. They threatened CPS. Chaos ensued. First off, thank you everyone for the support on my original post. You guys really helped me see I wasn't crazy for standing my ground. So I went to Spain. It was amazing. I turned my phone off the entire time, except to send pics to Aunt Lisa. I had actual free time to do whatever I wanted, ate amazing food, went to art museums, took naps in the middle of the day just because I could. I met some cool people at my hotel, even went on a date with this British guy who was there on business. Nothing serious, but hey, apparently I'm not as undateable as Sarah claims. But the real updates are about what happened when I got back. The family drama somehow got even worse while I was gone. Sarah told everyone I abandoned the kids and ruined their vacation. They ended up having to pay actual money for a babysitter. Shocking, I know. And apparently the sitter quit after 2 days because the kids were too hard to handle. Weird how they're angels when I watch them, though. Amy is still doing damage control with her multi-level marketing group because they had to cancel their business retreat, also known as planned shopping trip, when she couldn't find free childcare. She's been posting these long Facebook rants about family loyalty that everyone knows are about me. Mom keeps sending me these weird articles about career burnout and finding balance in life. I finally blocked her number after she sent one called The Emptiness of Success Without Family. But here's the good stuff. I met someone, and yeah, we're actually dating like real grown-up dating. He's single, loves to travel, and get this, he actually asks about my job and thinks it's impressive, instead of treating it like some cute little hobby. We're already planning a trip to Portugal in the spring. The merger at work, absolute success. Got a massive bonus and a promotion. My boss actually mentioned how much more focused I've been since setting boundaries with my family. Turns out not having your phone blow up with emergencies every hour helps your work performance. Aunt Lisa and I have gotten super close. We do weekly coffee dates now. She's been sharing some family tea that explains a lot about why my sisters are the way they are. Apparently their perfect marriages aren't so perfect. Shocker. I did end up sending that cease and desist letter through my lawyer friend, after Sarah tried to spread rumors at her church about me being mentally unstable. Haven't heard a peep from her since. The family's still mad, but honestly, I don't care anymore. My life is so much better without the constant guilt trips and demands. I actually have time for hobbies now. Started taking painting classes, redecorated my apartment, adopted a cat. Her name is Paella. Yes, I named her after Spanish food. Don't judge. Last week I got this long email from Dad. First time he's ever reached out on his own. He actually apologized for not standing up for me sooner and said he's proud of how I've handled myself. That meant a lot, even though I'm not ready to fully let them back in my life yet. So yeah, that's where things stand. I'm happier than I've been in years. My calendar is full of things I want to do instead of family emergencies. The only baby I take care of now is my sourdough starter. Okay, and maybe paella, kind of a baby.